Welcome back to Limitliss, everyone. Thank you for joining me on another episode for our Turbo Hayabusa Willys CJ2A. Please go down below. Give me a suggestion for a name for this thing. I can't come up with anything. It's gonna need a name, and it's gonna have logos all over it. You know, some billet stuff on the intake and everything. So hit me up down below. So today in this episode we are going to be working on the radiator. I bought I think it was for a Honda Civic or something like that. Bought an aluminum radiator. So we got to cut it all up and build new end tanks. Make it a triple pass as well. Put on our ends. I have the radiator sitting on an angle as well. So everything's, you know, a little bit different than the normal anyways. So check it out. Okay, so I've got 25 core, I guess, left. So you need to divide that into 3 to make a triple pass. So I'm gonna go, it'll be 8, 8, and 9. So I'm gonna leave the top one at 9 rows, and the bottom 2 will be at 8 rows each. So I'm gonna make a mark on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I know that I need this tab to be right in line with that one. Go right in between the 2 cores. And that one between those 2 cores. There we go. Now I weld this to the bottom of the radiator, and the water pump goes into that one and out to the engine. these should be able to get welded onto the bottom of the radiator. So I've got a nice surface here, nice big surface here that should never puncture through the radiator, because these are going to hold, you know, probably 90% of the weight. So yeah, sit like that. I'd call that a success. I don't know about you guys, but they're pretty darn similar. That was the main goal, is to make two brackets pretty close to the same. I could have manually just tap these out, but that seemed like a whole lot more effort. So now we gotta get the holes drilled in them and they can be welded on. The brackets all welded on. Nothing to write home about, but they're not bad. I ended up having to adjust the angle of them a little bit, so they got hammer marks on them, but still not too bad. I just finished welding a -6AN onto my inlet. Something was going on. I need a different welder for aluminum, I think. This thing is just ridiculous. Then I had to cut a hole in it, because it turns out I had a leak in my bottom two cores, which is not really weldable. So I cut a hole in it and had to JB weld it, unfortunately. Once that's dry, I'll flip it over and do the other side, just lose the bottom two rows, or the bottom row. And then we can throw her back in. Well, the radiator, as you can see, is in place. A lot of that didn't get filmed. I decided I really dislike welding aluminum with this machine. Without that balance adjustment, I have two separate adjustments and I just can't figure out what is doing what. But it's in. Still have to plug the holes that I made. I'll show you guys what I did. Okay, I welded up some tabs here down to another rubber grommet, and I just tapped into here. I mean, there's next to no pressure on it. It's sitting on its own at that angle already. You can't push it in. The only thing you can do is pull it back. So if I need to go with some kind of a threaded insert later, easy enough to do. I didn't put them on the cap where I was planning on doing it, because I may end up doing a fill on here as well. Because coming through a number 6AN or -6AN is probably not going to fill super easily. See if we can get some visual from the back. So it is just slightly above that bar. It's just stitched welded in a couple places right now. I'm probably just going to seal it with maybe a silicone or something. So now that that is in place, finalized, I have to get the exact position for my radiator tube. And then there will just be a short hose in between here. There was no point in going with AN stuff. This is going to be sheeted on top anyway, so you're not going to see it. My next step is going to be also trying to figure out how this this bottom pipe is going to be running for the radiator. It needs to connect right there. There we go. So it needs to connect right there. A few issues that I'm having is, let's grab the water pump. So a few ways that the water pump can go, facing straight up. I can't really turn it this way because that's where my ducting is going to be for the rad. Not quite enough room to probably do a 90. Obviously I don't want it sticking out of this side. So I'm kind of limited. Not enough room to 90 afterwards going that way. So by going up, there's not a ton of options. I don't want to go too close to the exhaust, obviously, so I don't know. Bunch of thinking to do on that one still. Well, it's been almost a year now since I started. Not nearly as far as I thought I was going to be. But I worked almost 6 months of that straight through without touching it, so I think I'm doing okay. Probably going to take another year yet. Hopefully we gain more than the 100 or so subscribers that we got already. If you guys are enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you hit the little bell. So yeah, I'll figure out what I'm doing for the next episode, and see you guys next week.